Hi guys, in this video we are going to show you how to integrate Django with Xhtml to PDF in order to generate dynamic PDFs, also including images. So it's not going to be only plain text, we will also display images that are coming from the database with the media files. So we will have images that the user uploads as well as our static image, and this is going to be the Pyplane logo. Okay, so we will do it in the easiest way possible probably, and it should be pretty short and easy. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so before we take a deep dive into coding, let's just have a short overview on what have I done so far. So basically I started a brand new project called PDF Proj, and I also added one application called Customers. So right now I'm in settings.py file inside the PDF Proj directory, and if we scroll down we can see that to the installed apps list I've added Customers. Then if we scroll down again we will have templates, and here I provided some information for Django where to look for additional templates, and at the very bottom I added configuration for the static and media files, because in this project, in this tutorial, we are going to use both static images and media images. Okay, so we are going to use the images that the user uploads, and these are going to be our customer's logo, and I created some in canva.com. Here they are, and we are going to upload them in just a second. And also my Pyplane logo, which is going to be our static file. Okay, so this is it for the settings.py. It's worth mentioning that I also created those folders inside the src directory. So we have static, templates, and media. Okay, and here we have media, static, and if we scroll above we have also templates, and all of those folders are created inside the source directory, so they should be next to our main project folder, next to our customers application, next to our DB SQLite 3, so I ran the migration command, and also next to the manage py file. What's worth mentioning is that I also created a super user so we can log into the admin. And one more thing, in the urls.py file I also included the media and static files in the URL patterns, and this is it. Okay, so right now what we can do is to jump into customers and open up models.py file, because over here we are going to create our first and only class for the models called customer, which will inherit from models.model. And now we need to define the fields. So the first field is going to be the name, and this is going to be a models char field with the max length equal to 200. Okay, the second one is going to be the logo, and this is going to be a models image field. And since we are using an image field, let's stop the server from running and install pillow. So pip install pillow. Okay, and let's go back. Pillow has been installed. The next field is going to be the address, or maybe let's add a description of the customer, and this is going to be a models text field. And finally, let's maybe also add an updated. This is going to be a models date time field with auto now equals to true, and then created. This is going to be a models date time field with auto now add equal to true. And finally, let's not forget about the string representation, and over here we are just going to return the name. Alright, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to head over to the admin. Here let's register our model. So first we need to import it from .models. We want to import our customer, and then admin site register customer. Okay, so now we can save this and go back to the terminal. Python manage py make migrations and Python manage py migrate. All right, so right now let's head over to the Django administration. I'm already logged in, so now if I refresh, I don't see anything because we need to run the server. Python manage py run server, and let's try this out again. And here are our customers. So I'm going to add some using the logos generated in canva.com. Okay, so let's create the first one, new customer 1. I'm going to select the file logo 1 png, and I'm going to add a description. Cool customer, great communication, prefers contact by email, located in the US, okay, something like this. And then I'm going to save, and first of all maybe save and continue editing so we can check if everything is working with our media files. As you can see, everything is all right. So let's go back and yeah, let's add another one. So I'm going to put in here new customer 2. I'm going to select logo 2, and the description will be awesome customer, fast response time, pays on time, located somewhere in, let's say, Norway, for example. Okay, and save and add another one, new customer 3, logo 3, and the description will be not much info about this customer, located somewhere in Asia, working out the details about our contract. Okay, something like this. And let's save. Okay, so we have our customers, and now what we can do is to install Xhtml to PDF. So we can go to the official documentation. The link is in the description, and what we need to do is to find the installation, click on it, and then the first position is the one that we need. So I'm just going to copy it and stop the server from running, paste it, and we are installing Xhtml to PDF. All right, so this is done. And now we can go back, click on the usage, and here we have using with Python standalone. So this is something that doesn't interest us. And here we have using Xhtml to PDF in Django. So this is the place for us. And we should be interested in bringing the imports. So I'm just going to copy them from the top and putting them into the views py inside the customers. We won't be using finders, and also we won't be using settings and OS. Okay, so I'm going to delete them, and right now I'm just going to copy this example view, render PDF view, and I'm going to put it over here. Okay, so here is our render PDF view, and let's have a look. What do we have here? So we have, first of all, the template path, and this is basically the template that we are going to use. Here we have the context, so this is what we are passing to the template, and the rest is described in the comments. So we are creating a Django response object and specifying content type as PDF, so this is what's happening here. And then we are finding the template and rendering it, so this is what's happening here. we are creating the PDF here, and if we have an error, this is what happens down here. Okay, so we won't be using this link callback. I'm going to delete it, and yeah, we can right now try to see this render PDF view in our browser. So what we need to do first is to, of course, save this views.py file, and then I'm going to create another one called urls.py. So here, let me just import from Django urls import path. Also from .views, we want to import render PDF view. So this is the view that we want to register. Let's set up the app name to be customers, and then URL patterns will be the path. The first path will be blank, and then we are passing the render PDF view, and the name we can set as test view. Okay, so now let's include the URL patterns from the customers to the main URL patterns in our main project folder. So just remember to save this file, and let's head over to the main URLs py file. Over here we need to import include. Okay, and right now we can write path, and we are setting this as the main path. So right now we can put in include, and then we want to go to the customers and .urls, and the namespace should match the app name, so let's put in customers. Alright, I'm going to save this and see if this is working. And it's not working because we didn't run the server. Python manage py run server, and let's try this out again. And we have template does not exist. Okay, so this is obvious. We need to create one very quickly. So let's jump to customers, templates, and inside we need to put in another folder called customers. And here I'm going to put in PDF1 HTML. Okay, so we are going to do template inheritance just a little bit later for the view where we will have a list of customers, and clicking on a button next to a particular customer, we will get a proper PDF file. But for now, what we need to know is that template inheritance doesn't work with PDF files. So we need to actually write down a very basic HTML code in order to have this working. So I'm just going to put in HTML and then head and body, and inside the head I'm just going to put in meta char set equal to UTF-8, and right now what I'm going to do is to display the variable that we are passing to our template. So if we go to the views.py file, here we first of all need to change it to be equal to customers, and then the name of our template, PDF1 HTML. And now we can also copy this myvar and put it inside of the body. Okay, so now I'm going to save this, hit refresh, and what do you know? We have our PDF file downloaded. Okay, so this is your template context, and if we jump into the views, here we have myvar with so myvar is the key, and the value is this is your template context, so this matches this. So this is working. However, if we would like to display it in the browser, not to download this PDF, what we can do is to get rid of the attachment. So I'm just going to write a comment: if download run this piece of code. Okay, so this is what, if we want to download it, this is the code that we want with the attachment. And if we want to only display it, we will need to get rid of the attachment as mentioned before. So I'm just going to delete this, save this, and I'm going to close the report PDF. Why report PDF? Because we set the file name over here to be equal report PDF. Okay, so let me close this and let me refresh. And as you can see right now, we have it displayed under this URL, under this address, and it's working. It's not downloaded, it's just viewable. So what we can do next is to also add some title, and we have to do it in the PDF1 HTML. So inside the head we can also add a title, and I'm just going to put in here maybe something like test PDF, or you can put whatever you want, PDF test. Okay, I'm going to save this, hit refresh, and right now we have also the title over here. Okay, so this is working, but this is not dynamic. Okay, so what we want to do is to actually grab data from our database and display it in the PDF, and also we want to show images. As mentioned before, we want to show the logos as well as the Pyplane logo. So what we need to do next is to create a new view that is going to be a customer render PDF view. Okay, and this will take in a request, keyword arguments, and arguments. Okay, and then I'm going to put in pass for now, because we will also need to have a list view. So this is going to be a class-based view, and I'm going to set up a class called customer list view, and this will inherit from list view, which we need to import from Django views generic. Alright, so over here we are passing list view, so we are inheriting from list view, and right now we need to specify the model. The model will be the customer, so we need to import it as well. From .models import customer, and then let's specify the template name to be equal customers and main HTML. Okay, so we will have main HTML created in just a second, and for this particular view, let's say that we will use pdf2.html. So let's create those templates right now. Main HTML and then pdf2.html. All right, so yeah, maybe we can start with the main HTML. Or actually, if we scroll down and go to the templates, here we need to create another one called base HTML, because we are going to do some template inheritance. Our main HTML will inherit from base HTML. Okay, so in order to have a starter template, let's go to Get Bootstrap. And here we need to go to documentation. All the links are in the description. So yeah, let's just copy the starter template, paste it inside the base HTML. Let's change the title to, I don't know, PDFs, and put in block title over here. And in the body, we are going to define a div class is equal to container to add some spacing on the left and on the right. And inside this div, we are going to put in block content. All right, so now we can go ahead and save this and go back to our main HTML and simply inherit from base HTML. So in order to do that, we need to write down extends base HTML, and then let's define the block title for this template, and this will be maybe customers. and block content. So inside the block content we will have a for loop for customer in object list. Okay, let's maybe display the customer itself and add a break line over here. So now I'm going to save this. I'm going to also save the views py because I forgot about it, and I'm going to head over to the URLs. Here what we need to do is to import our customer list view, and this path I'm going to copy, and over here this path with this view will be test, and the main path will consist this customer list view. So I just need to copy it, put it over here. This is a class-based view, so we need to put in as view, and the name will be maybe customer list view. Alright, so now if we save this, go back to the browser, refresh, here we have new customer 1, new customer 2, and new customer 3. So let's add actually some buttons, so later we can click on them and see the PDF for a particular customer. Okay, so what we can do next is simply return to the main HTML, and here yeah, we can write down an href. For now this will be blank, and then we need to create the button itself. So I'm going to put in a class btn primary. This way the button will be blue, and I'm just going to put in PDF and close off the button and close off the A. And also maybe we can add a HR at the end, this horizontal line. So let's see how this looks right now. Refresh, and there it is. So we have new customer 1, new customer 2, and new customer 3, and those PDF buttons. All right, so now what we can do is to register this view over here. It's not done yet, it's basically empty, but let's register it in the URL patterns. So we need to import it, customer render PDF view, and this will have a path that we will define below, and we want to also use a PK, a primary key. This will be a customer primary key. So here I'm just going to put in PDF and then PK. Okay, so this is the primary key that is expected, and based on that primary key we will get the proper PDF file, and here we need to put in customer render PDF view, and this is going to be customer PDF view. Okay, so right now what we can do is to copy this name, go back to our main HTML, and here in the href we can put in a URL and set the application name and then the name of the path. So right now it should be redirected to this view. However, we still are expecting a primary key, so next to this customer PDF view, let's put in a customer PK. Okay, so we are in a loop, so we have also access to the primary key. And yeah, right now this should be working. So what we can do is to go to the views py, and we have HTTP response imported already. So here we are going to return HTTP response, and we are going to put in just working. I'm going to save this, go back to the browser, refresh, press PDF, and we have working. All right, so it's actually time to set up this customer render PDF view, and it's actually going to be pretty much the same. We just need 2 additional lines of code. So I'm going to copy this, paste it inside this customer render PDF view, and at the top we want to get the primary key. Okay, so if we open up this this PDF, which isn't a PDF just yet, here we have PDF1, PDF2, and this is basically the customer primary key. So what we can do is to set a variable called pk, and with the use of keyword arguments get the primary key, and then from Django shortcuts we can also import getObject or 404, and then based on the primary key and the customer model we can get the actual customer. So customer is equal to getObject or 404, we are passing the customer, and the primary key we are setting to primary key over here. So now we should have the customer, so we can actually check this out. I'm going to grab this customer and put it over here. So the key will be the customer, and as the value we are passing the entire object. Okay, so now if we save this, actually we just need to change also the PDF1 to be equal to PDF2 HTML. So now if we save this, go to PDF2 HTML, we will take the code from PDF1 and put it also in PDF2, and here instead of my var we are going to put in the customer. So I'm going to save this, and right now I'm going to hit refresh, PDF1 and new customer 1. Okay, so this is working. New customer 2, this is working as well. New customer 3, this is working as well. Alright, so we are one step closer to finishing this project, so let's do some additional work in this template. Below the customer, let's add a break line and display the customer and description. Okay, so let's see how this will work. I'm going to save this, and maybe instead of BR let's add a HR. So I'm going to yeah, did I save this? I did. So here I'm just going to hit refresh, PDF, and here is our horizontal line, new customer, and here is our description. If we would like to have it the way we see it in the admin, so with the lines organized this way, we just need to put in a filter, line breaks, and now if we save this again, go back, refresh, we have it exactly the same way as we see it in the admin. This is customer 3, so if we head over to customer 1, here is exactly the same thing that we see over here. Alright, the trick part will be with the images. So let's actually do another, this time let's do a break line, and I'm just going to show you a couple of things. So here I'm going to put in customer logo, and I'm going to add another break line. Here I will put in customer logo URL, okay, and then another break line and customer logo path. Okay, so let's save this now and let's hit refresh. And let me make this just a little bit bigger. So here we have the name of the file, then media, name of the file, and the full path where we keep the image on our computer. Okay, so if we want to test this out to actually display the image, let's do the first option. emgsrc is equal to, and I'm going to grab the customer logo and give it a height equals to 200 pixels. Okay, so I'm going to save this and go back, hit refresh, and this didn't work. Okay, so let's try with the URL, and I'm going to save it, refresh, and as you can see this didn't work as well. And the final option is with the path, hit refresh, and this seems to be working. Okay, so we have our image. If you have problems with customer logo path and the image is not displayed, you can try it out like this: media, and then put in the customer and logo. Okay, so now if I save this, hit refresh, I still see the logo. Okay, so this is for the media files, and now I'm going to simply take this Pyplane and place it inside the PDFs, inside the src directory, in the static folder, and I want to first add a break line and display this static. So first we need to load static at the top, load static, and I just want to display this Pyplane, and the format was PNG. Okay, Pyplane PNG. Okay, let's see, what do we have over here. We have static Pyplane PNG. So this won't work as well, probably. Let me enlarge this. The issue is that with the media and with the static, this slash over here. So let's try it out. I'm going to copy EMG SRC, and below I'm going to put in this static. Okay, so let's try it out. Let's hit refresh, and as you can see, this didn't work. So let's do it as we did over here. So we are going to add Pyplane PNG, and in front we are going to place in static Pyplane PNG. Okay, so now if we refresh, we see the Pyplane logo as well. And this is basically it. If we go to our main site, we can see that this works for all the customers. So of course you could style this. We could go to the head and open style, and inside the style we could, for example, define a class called back, and here we can define a background color and set it to for example, red. Okay, so now we can take this back, and our EMG SRC we can wrap with a div with a class equal to this red, sorry, not red but back, and we can close off the div over here, and yeah, let's hit refresh, and as you can see we have this red background for this div that we created where we keep our images. So basically this is how you do the stylings. You just go to the head, here you open up the style tags and put classes, define classes inside those styles. I think if you prepare an external file it won't work, but you can of course play around with this. And yeah, I think we can finish off over here. So hopefully this tutorial will be helpful for you guys, and yeah, if it is, please subscribe to my channel. A lot of pretty cool content is coming up. So yeah, I'm going to finish off right now and wish you all a great day, and see you soon. Take care and bye bye.